Hello, this is Charlie Perez from Big Panda Performance. I wanted to share with you guys a transitions drill. I have these 4 different targets here set up that allow me to do some different transitions, and the goal here is to be able to transitions between the targets and have our on-target splits and our between target transitions around the same time. I like to do this drill at varying distances. For this video, to make it easier to film, I'm doing it starting at 5 yards here. Probably do most of my work at 5 yards here. The good thing about doing this at 5 yards is that it really forces me to get my legs involved in the transition, which is actually required to drive the gun between targets and stop it on the next target really steadily. Now, when we have an array of targets like this that are about a target width apart, the on-target splits and the in-between target transition should be about the same time. But I think that may surprise a lot of people that in this array, if we number them 1 through 4, going from right to left, if I transition between 1 and 3, it should be very close to the same transition as going between 1 and 2. And going all the way from 1 to 4, the final target, that should only add about 5/100ths to my transition. So I'll shoot this drill a couple different times, and I'll call out my hits and my times between the splits and transitions, and we'll see how it works out. Let's get it going. All right, my draw was a 92. First split was a 20, followed by a 22 transition, a 12 split with a 23 transition, a 15 split with a 22 transition with a 12 split. A little spicy on the splits there, but the in-between target transitions are about 20s, or a little bit over 20s. And that run is all alphas all the way across. So that's a good run for me. Now I'm going to try it a different way, going from number 1 all the way to number 3. All right, so that run, I had an 84 draw with a 15 split, then I'm sorry, it's an 84 draw with a 19 split, then a 24 transition to target number 3 with a 15 split. So there my transition between 1 through 4, or 1 through 3, sorry, was a 24 split. So it's only about 2/100ths more than between 1 and 2. So the next drill, thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do from 1 to number 4, and just so everybody knows, my hits are 2 alpha and 2 alpha in this drill. All right, so that was an 86 draw with a 23 split. It was a little slow. Gun's kind of wandering around on there. Then I have a 25 transition between targets 1 and 4, and that results in 2 alpha and 2 alpha. So that's kind of a good example of being able to produce the same speed of transition even when you're tripling or quadrupling the distance of your transition itself. So that's kind of a good measuring stick for me, that I should be able to produce about the same, within about 5/100ths of a transition time between targets 1 and 4. That's about average, dropping about 5/100ths. So that's a good example of really aggressively driving the transition, using my legs to get the transition done. And so the next thing we're going to do is a couple other drills that gets us used to breaking the shot as soon as the gun gets on target. For this drill, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the far left or far right target on the edge of my cone of fire. The target will still be within my cone of fire, but what I want to be able to do is bring the gun in, fire a shot, and bring the gun out with not allowing the gun to pause on the target. This is an important skill to get used to, where your gun isn't lingering on the target before you break the shot or after the shot is broken and you leave the target. So this gets us used to both breaking the shot as soon as the gun settles on the target, and also driving the gun off the target as soon as the shot fires. All right, so I'll do a couple drills, a couple different directions here, and we'll see how it turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this target on the left, target number 4 on the edge of my cone of fire, and I'm going to transition to it, fire, and then transition out. This transition drill gets me used to firing the shot as soon as my sights settle in the A zone of the target, and then driving it right back out. Now I'm going to do the same thing, going to the target number 1 here. I'm going to get on the edge of my cone of fire for fire. Whoops. That allows me to get the target, the shots fired as soon as the sights are on the target. That gets me shooting sooner, and the gun is not lingering on the target. Once you feel comfortable with doing one shot fired on this transition in and out of the target, then you can have multiple shots. And the multiple shots is where we need the visual patience to be able to fire the first shot, call it, fire the second shot, call it, and then leave the target. This is really where the rubber meets the road on being able to engage targets with multiple rounds and get the gun on the target and off the target as quickly as possible. Once again, I'm going to set this left target on the edge of my cone of fire. I'm going to fire 2 shots and then transition out of the target. I'm going to repeat the same thing, going to the right target. I'm going to set it on the edge of my cone of fire, come in, fire 2 shots, and come out. With these drills, you should be able to assess your transitioning skills. What are you transitioning with? If you end up using your arms, that's going to cause some problems in being able to stop the gun on the next target. If your hits are getting laterally displaced, if you have like an Alpha Charlie as you're stringing the shots along, you're not calling your shots, you're just rowing your finger at a cadence of fire. So you want to make sure that we are calling each shot as it fires. That allows us to generate solid A-zone hits when driving the gun with aggression, stopping with our legs to the next target, and firing our next shot on the next target. I hope this helps you improve your practical shooting performance. If you have any more questions, please come to my website, bigpandaperformance.com. Check it out, order my book, or do some training with me. Merry Christmas, and have a good time. Be safe.